In this video, I'm going to offer up 10 female monologues for mature performers. These will be perfect if you're an older student of acting, perhaps doing a postgraduate course, or if you're looking for great material for an acting class. These characters are often maternal women experiencing life-changing moments, which sometimes involve grief or catastrophe. They're tender and tumultuous, complex and courageous. So here they are. Robyn from Meet Me at Dawn by Zinnie Harris. Start on page 52 at "Can you actually look at me when we are talking?" and stop on page 55 at "It was my fault." Robyn is a woman in her 40s and she's desperately trying to grasp what's going on with her partner, Helen. They're stranded on a beach together after a boating accident. Robyn is experiencing confusion and concussion as time stands still and simultaneously flies by. This is a desperate, dizzy, disorientating speech as memories and events collide in Robyn and she comes to terms with an earth-shattering revelation. Mag from The Monstrous Heart by Emanuel. Start on page 27 at "Take her, you said," and stop on page 29 at "I work hard at no longer being afraid." Mag is in a remote cabin on a Canadian mountain and she's speaking to her daughter, Beth. Mag has fled here with her granddaughter, Beth's daughter, and here Mag is justifying her actions to Beth. It's a very powerful and emotive speech that explores the cost and sacrifices of being a parent. Anne from Wilderness by Kellie Smith. Start on page 18 at "So there we are" and stop on page 19 at "Hard to believe 8 years ago." Anne has a child called Alistair and here she recalls his traumatic birth. It's fantastically dramatic and has a beautiful ending describing Alistair's survival and how he miraculously cheated death. Cut out Steph's 3 tiny interjections at the end of the speech to make it work. Linda from Linda by Penelope Skinner. This is scene 14. Start on page 82 at "So I've been handed the task of presenting" and stop on page 84 at "I will not disappear." Linda is a 55-year-old award-winning businesswoman. In this speech, she's making an important boardroom presentation about an anti-aging cream for women, but she goes rogue in a big way. It's an incredibly powerful speech full of defiance as she lays bare the unspoken realities of being a middle-aged woman. It builds brilliantly and explodes as a climax of Act 1. It's a scorcher. Amelia from Cruel and Tender by Martín Crimp. Start on page 28 at "After we married" and stop on page 30 at "With his throat cut." Amelia is in her 40s and she's the powerful wife of a military general. Here she tells a story to her housekeeper, physiotherapist and beautician about an affair that she had when she was younger. The man was a chemist and he gave Amelia a new chemical weapon that he was later killed for. Amelia is an amazing character, calm and composed, yet dangerous and penetrating. Harper from Regan by Simon Stephens. In Simon Stephens Plays 3, start on page 266 at "2 years ago my husband was arrested" and stop on page 267 at "I feel very ashamed." Harper has met up with a man called James in a beautiful hotel room in central Manchester. She's there with the intention of sleeping with him, but before she does, she tells him about her husband's criminal past. Harper speaks directly and succinctly, yet there is an ocean of inner conflict, subtext, pain and emotion underpinning her words. Mother from Arctic Oil by Clare Duffy. Start on page 45 at "When you were a baby, I listened to you breathing at night" and stop on page 47 at "But you're going to be fine, you'll see." Mother is 63 and she lives on a remote island in the North Sea and her daughter Ella has come to see her. They've had a dramatic fight and Ella has fallen, become unconscious and is being cradled by Mother. It's a speech full of pain and anguish but ends with a burst of hope as Ella wakes up. The Woman from On the Exhale by Martín Zimmerman. Start on page 16 at "You always imagined it happening to you" and stop on page 20 at "Michael is an hour late for soccer practice." The unnamed female speaker is aged between her late 30s and her early 50s, and she's a teacher and a single parent. This is a fully charged speech about a shooting at her young son's elementary school. It's fast and panicked, full of dramatic discoveries and pin-drop pauses as she visits the school and awaits news. The character is American, and the text makes many references to this, so an American accent will work really well with this speech. Nancy from Frozen by Bryony Lavery. This speech is scene 19. In Bryony Lavery's Plays 1, start on page 157 at "Well, well, well" and stop on page 161 at "It's too much, it's too much." Nancy and her daughter Ingrid are visiting the Chapel of Rest to place some items into a coffin. The coffin contains the remains of Nancy's daughter, Rona, who's been murdered. Ingrid then tells Nancy to visit the killer and to forgive him, to which Nancy explodes with rage. This speech has an unimaginable breadth of emotions tightly packed into one solo piece. It's a hugely challenging speech that feels both beautiful and devastating in equal parts. Christine from Light Falls by Simon Stevens. This speech is in part 1. Start on page 5 at the place where the carotid arteries and stop on page 7 at the moment that I die, I will feel this happening to me. Christine is in a shop buying alcohol when she suddenly suffers a brain hemorrhage. It's a stunningly articulated, vividly captured moment in time that's fascinating to explore. This is an extract from part 1 of the play, and the whole of part 1 is spoken by Christine. If you wanted a longer extract to work on, you could continue to the end of part 1 and use the first third of it as well. I think this central section that I've picked out works really well on its own and has a great range of emotions and images to explore. So there we go, 10 monologues for mature female performers. This is how you can read the speeches and the plays they're from. These plays are currently available on Drama Online. Drama Online is a digital subscription service that has thousands of play texts that you can read and print off. You can order the play text from the publishers, Bloomsbury, Nick Hern Books, and Faber and Faber. Or you can order them from Amazon. And if you're in London, there are a few brilliant places where you can browse and buy plays. The National Theatre Bookshop on the South Bank, the Royal Court Bookshop at Sloane Square, Foyles on Charing Cross Road, Waterstones at Piccadilly, and the Calder Bookshop on the Cut near Waterloo. These places all have extensive selections of playtexts. Thanks ever so much for watching to the end. If this video's helped you, please hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel too. Finally, check out these other videos that I've put up on screen that I think you'll like. Take care and all the best.